Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture of Python programming. So let's continue our discussion on pseudocode. So the question here is how to find the prime factors of a given number. We have already known how to find the factors of a given number, how to count the factors of a given number, and how to check whether a given number is prime or not in the flowchart class. So let's implement those logic and write the pseudocode for finding the prime factors of a given number. So let's have a look into the logic here. Suppose I am giving a number as 12. So what are the factors of 12? The factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. So how many factors are there? There are 6 number of factors. But among the 6 number of factors, which are the prime factors? So those are 2 and 3. Those are the prime factors. So we have to print only 2 and 3. 4, 6 and 12, those are the factors, but those are not prime numbers. So first we have to find out which one is the factor of 12. 2 is the factor of 12. Then we will go for checking whether 2 is prime or not. So here we are combining two logic, how to find the factor and how to check whether a given number is prime or not. And here the given number is what? That is the factor of 12. So let's write the pseudocode for finding the prime factors of a given number. So for that given number, we have to input the value. So input value for suppose n. So how to check which are the factors of n? For that we have to take a counter variable, so that is the I. So for I equals to 1, I less than equals to n, I plus plus. Here we have to follow the indentation, we don't have to write the curly braces here. So these are the starting of the indentation. So we are finding or we are checking either this I is the factor of n or not. So that's why we are writing here if n modulo I equals to 0. That means if n is divisible by I, then I is the factor of n. So if it is true, that means n is divisible by I. So now we find that I is the factor of n. So what is the second question? The second is the prime factor. So we have to check either I is prime or not. First we have to find the factors. Which are the factors? Once we got the factor, then we have to check either that factor is prime or not. If it is prime, then I will go for printing the value. If it is not prime, then I will go for checking the next number. So if it is true, then we have to check either I is prime or not. So for that, either we will take a counter variable or we will take a flag. Suppose I am taking here a flag that is prime. So initially is prime is initialized with 1. Next we have to check either I is prime or not. That means we have to find all the factors of I. So here for that, for j equals to 1, j less than equals to I, j plus plus. So we have to find out all the factors of I now. So for that we are taking another counter variable, that is j. This seems like complicated, but this is not. For n, we have to find out the factors. That's why we are taking a variable that is I. Now to check whether this I is prime or not, we have to find out all the factors of I. That's why we have to take another counter variable, that is j. So like I1 and I less than equals to n, here we have to find out the factors of I. So j equals to 1, j less than equals to I. So if I modulo j equals to 0, if I modulo j equals to 0, here we are starting j equals to 2. So j less than I. So 1 is actually 1 is the common factor of each and every number. So we are skipping the 1. J will be 2, j less than equals to I. If I modulo j equals to 0, if any number that is actually the factor of I, then we have to set is prime equals to 0. And here we need to break the loop. Which loop? This loop. We have to go out from the loop. So which loop? This loop. So once we will get a factor of I, that means this is not a prime number. So that means is prime equals to 0. So here we have to check if is prime equals to 1. The is prime will get 0 if it is not a prime number. If it is a prime number, then it will be initialized with 1 and it will continue with 1. So if it is prime equals to 1, then we have to print here prime factor equals to percentage d, and for this percentage d we have to print percentage I. So now we have to print, this is our last line. So suppose I am printing here, thank you. Here is the slash n. So let's execute this. So for the 12, which the value for n is what? N equals to what? 12. So I equals to what? 1. N modulo I equals to what? 0. True. Is prime equals to what? 1. J will start from what? 2. Then j less than equals to I. 2 is less than equals to I, that is condition false. So if it is false, then we will go here. Is prime equals to 1? True. Then the print 1 will be get printed. Then after printing this, we will go to here, I plus plus. So I will be what? I will be 2. 2 less than equals to 12, true. Then we will go here, 12 modulo 2 equals to 0, true. Is prime equals to what? 1. Then for j equals to 2, 2 less than 2, that is false. Then we will go here, is prime equals to 1, that is true. So it will print 2 here. Then I will get modified, I will be 3. 3 less than equals to 12, that is true. Then we will go here, 12 modulo 3 equals to 0, true. Is prime equals to what? 1. Then j equals to 2. 2 less than 3, true. Then we will go here. So I value is what? 3. J value is what? 2. 3 modulo 2 equals to 0? No, it is false. Then we will go here. J plus plus. J will be 3. 3 less than 3 condition false. Then we will go here. Sorry, we will go here. Is prime equals to 1? Yes, it is 1. So it will print 3. Then we will go for 4. So 4 less than 12, true. Then we will go here. 12 modulo 4 equals to 0, true. That means 4 is the factor. So let's say 4 is the prime factor or not. If 4 will get printed here, then that means 4 is a prime factor. If 4 will not printed here, that means 4 is not a prime factor. So j equals to 2, j less than 4, true. I modulo j. That is what? 4 modulo 2. So 4 modulo 2 equals to what? 0. So this is true. So is prime will what? Is prime equals to 0. Now break. So we will go out from this loop. So is prime equals to 1? No. The is prime has modified and is prime is now 0. So this condition will be false. So 4 will not get printed here. Like that for the 6. 6 is the factor of 12. But 6 will not get printed in the output screen, because here when we will counter with j equals to 2, 6 modulo 2 equals to 0. That is true. So there is prime will modified with 0 and we will go out from the loop and 6 will be not printed in the output screen. So this is the pseudo code for printing all the prime factors of a given number. Now the second question is, to check whether a given number is strong number or not. So what is a strong number? What is the logic behind strong number? Suppose I am giving a number, suppose 123. First, we have to find out the factors of each digit. So how many digits are there? 3 digits are there. So this is 1, 2 and 3. Next, we have to find out the factorials of each and every digit. So 1 factorial, 2 factorial and 3 factorial. Then we will add this. So what is the 1 factorial? That is 1. What is 2 factorial? That is 2 into 1, that is 2. 3 factorial, 3 into 2 into 1, that is 6. So what is now 6 plus 2 plus 1, that is 9. So the sum of factorials are equals to what? 9. The original number is what? 123. If this summation value and the original value are same, then we can say 123 is a strong number. If it is not same, then we can say 123 is a strong number. That is not a strong number. For example, suppose 145 here. So what is the factorial of 5? 5 factorial is what? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That is 120. What is the factorial of 4? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That is 24. And the factorial of 1 is what? That is 1. So what is the summation of 120 plus 24 plus 1? That is 145. So the sum of the factorial is what? 145. And the original number is what? 145. So both are same. Both are same. So we can say 145 is a strong number. So let's write the pseudocode for checking whether a given number is strong or not. So before writing the pseudocode for the strong number, let's see how to retrieve a digit, how to extract a digit from a number. Suppose the question is 145. We have to extract the 5 first, then we will go for 4, then we will go for 1. So we know that the remainder operator will provide us the remainder. So if we will divide this, or if we will divide this with 10 by using the remainder operator, then what will be the remainder? 145 by 10, that is 1/4 is your quotient and the remainder is what? 5. So among 145, the rightmost digit is what? 5. So by dividing 145 with 10, so we will find the remainder as what? 5. Next, we have to squeeze the number. Once we will extract 5, then we need to squeeze the number, or we need to suppress the number. So 145, we need to suppress this number and we have to convert it into 14. So what is actually 14 here? That is the quotient. So by dividing 145 by 10, we will squeeze or suppress the number. But while using the remainder operator, we will extract a digit from the number. So you just remainder, by using the remainder operator, we will find the rightmost digit as a remainder and we can extract a digit from the number. And by dividing the number by 10, we are actually suppressing the number. So this is the logic for how to suppress the number and how to extract the number or extract a digit from the number. Then what is the logic for factorial? So for the 5 factorial is what? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So we will start from 5. So what actually that is the number that is given, and we will go up to 1. So if it is I, so I will start from where? By the given number, that is 5. Then I will decremented by 1, then I will be 4, then I will be 3. Like that I will goes up to 1. and we have to multiply it. So we must have a variable, suppose that is multiplication or any factorial. Suppose that is factorial. So here we are multiplying each digit. For the multiplication, we have to initialize the factorial variable as 1. If we will initialize it at 0, then the total result will be 0, because we know that 0 multiplied with something, that will be 0. So we have to initialize this by 1. So after initializing the factorial with 1, so now while, suppose I am writing here, while I is greater than equals to 1, because I is what now? 5. So we can write here factorial equals to factorial into I. So I is what? 5. So first we will multiply. What is the factorial value? That is 1. So 1 into 5, that is what? 5. Then I will be decremented. I will be 4. So what is the factorial variable? That is 5. Then 5 will get multiplied with 4. So what will be the result? That is 20. Now I will be 3. So what will be the result? 60. Now I will be 2. So what will be the result? 120. Now I will be 1. So last final result is what? 120. Once I will be 0, the condition will be false. So we have to find the factorial of a given number like this. So let's write the pseudocode for finding the or to checking whether a given number is strong or not. So for that we have to take the value. So we can write here, input the value for n. N is the given number. So we have to check either n is a strong or not. So what is the logic behind strong number? We have to find out the factorial of each digit. Then we will add each factorial into a sum. So initially the sum is what? 0. We have nothing, so sum equals to 0. Then for squeezing and extracting the digit from the number, we have to keep the number into a temporary variable, because at the last we have to compare the summation value with the original value. So this is the original value. Let's have a temporary variable. Then we will find the summation of factorials for the temporary variable. Then we will cross check that the temporary variable or the summation value of the temporary variable and the original value are same or not. So for that we have to take a temporary variable. So that is temporary equals to n. So let's find out or extract each and every digit from the number. So while temporary is not equals to 0, we have to follow the indentation. So we have to extract a digit. So digit equals to what? Temporary. We have to use the remainder operator. Temporary remainder 10. Next, what is the factorial? We have to calculate the factorial of this given digit. So factorial is equals to what? 1. Now initialize I with digit. So we have to now find out the factorial for that digit. So here while I is greater than equals to 1, we have to follow the indentation. Factorial equals to factorial into I. So next I will get modified. I will be I minus 1. Once it will be complete, then we have to follow the indentation. Once we will find the factorial of a given or a single digit, we have to add those factorial into the summation value. So here the sum equals to what? Sum equals to sum plus factorial. So by completing this, we are extracting a single digit and we will calculate the factorial of the single digit. So after extracting the rightmost digit, now we have to suppress or squeeze the number. So for that we will write here temporary equals to temporary by 10. So this is the actually Python's division, double slash. So the temporary equals to temporary by 10. Then from here we will go to this loop. So after this we have to check whether the summation value is equals to n or not. So for that we have to check if sum equals to n, then we can print here, follow the indentation here, print n is a strong number, else print n is not a strong number. So let's see, is this code is working or not. Suppose the question is 145. The n is what? 145. So the sum value is what? The first initially, suppose initially the sum value is what? 0. So temporary is what? Temporary equals to what? 145. N is what? 145. So check. 145 is not equals to 0. True. Then we will go here. So digit is what? Digit equals to temporary modulo 10. 145 modulo 10. So what will be the digit? The digit will be 5. Then factorial equals to 1. Factorial equals to what? 1. I equals to what? I equals to 5. Because the digit is 5 here. So I equals to 5. I greater than equals to 1. 5 is greater than equals to 1. True. Then we will go here. Factorial equals to factorial into 5. So 1 into 5, that is what? 5. Then I will get modified and it will be 4. So 4 greater than equals to 1. True. The factorial equals to factorial into 4. So that will be 20. I will modify. I will be 3. Then 3 greater than equals to 1. True. The 20 into 3. So what will be the result? That is 60. Then I will be 2. 2 greater than equals to 1. True. So 60 into 2. That is 120. Then I will be 1. 1 greater than equals to 1. True. Then it will be 120 into 1. So what is that? 120. Then I will be what? 0. 0 greater than equals to 1. False. Then we will go here. Here sum equals to sum plus factorial. So factorial is now what? 120. Sum is what? 0. 0 plus 120. That is what? 120. So after this, temporary equals to what? Temporary equals to temporary by 10. So temporary is what? 145. 145 by 10. So what is that? 114. So now the temporary variable holds 14. 14 is not equals to 0. True. Then we will go here. Digit equals to 14 modulo 10. So digit is now 4. Factorial equals to 1. So factorial will get modified with what? 120 will be get modified with 1. I equals to digit. So I will be what? Here is the 4. 4. 4 greater than equals to 1. True. Then factorial will be 1 into 4, that is 4. Then it will be decremented as 3. Then factorial will be 4 into 3, that is 12. Then it will be decremented to 12 into 2, that is what? 24. Then it will be decremented as 1. 24 into 1 is what? 24. Now it will be decremented as 0. So 0 greater than equals to 1, false. Then we will go here. Sum equals to sum plus factorial. Factorial is what? 24. Sum is what? 120. So 120 plus 24. What is that? 144. So the sum value is now 144. Then temporary equals to temporary by 10. So temporary is what? 14. 14 by 10 is what? 1. 1 is not equals to 0. True. Digit equals to temporary modulo 10. 1 modulo 10 is what? 1. Then factorial equals to 1. Factorial will again modified, that will be 1. I also modified, I will be digit, so that is what? 1. 1 greater than equals to 1, true. Factorial equals to 1 into I. 1 into 1, so what is that? 1. I will be 0. 0 is greater than equals to what? 1, false. Then we will go here. Sum equals to sum plus factorial. Sum is what? 144 plus factorial is what? 1. So what is that? 145. Now temporary equals to temporary by 10. 1 by 10. So here 1 by 10. So what is that actually? 0. Now 0 is not equals to 0. Condition false. We will go out of the while loop. That is here. Here what is n? 145. What is sum? 145. So sum equals to n. 145. So n is a strong number. If the question is suppose here 245. So here for the 4 and 5 the summation value is what? 144. And when the temporary is 2, the digit will be what? The digit will be temporary modulo 10, that is 2. So factorial will be what? 1. I will be what? I will be 2. 2 greater than equals to 1, true. Factorial equals to factorial into I, that is 1 into 2 equals to what? 2. I will get modified, that will be 1. Factorial will be 2 into 1, that is equals to what? 2. I will be modified 0 and false. Now the sum equals to sum plus factorial. So sum is what? 144 plus factorial is what? 2. So 146. When we will check sum equals to n or not, sum is 146 and your n is 245. So this is not same. So that will printed as 245 is not a strong number. So this is the pseudocode for checking whether a given number is strong or not. First we have to check or we have to find out the factorial of each and every digit, then we will sum the factorials of digit, then we will check either that summation value is equals to the original value, that is n. If it is same, then the n is a strong number. If it is not same, then n is not a strong number. So in our next class, we will go for the rest of data types like list and dictionary. Have a great day. Thank you.